There's always too much going on in here. Why is lunch so awkward? I know it might be because I'm not really a breakfast girl, but even the days where I do kind of like grab a little something to eat, lunchtime come around and I'm like having to have a conversation with my stomach, like, can you please be quiet? Like, we're trying to get something done. My stomach is like, no, hello, you have avoided me, and now we're gonna make all our problems known to the world and growl loud as a mug. So the biggest problem is, like, I really don't be knowing what to make. I feel like a safe choice is always the pre-game with some fruit. But today we'll be fixing that. Okay, we're gonna be making 3 different lunches that are easy to throw together and they're very filling, so you don't have to worry about like what you're gonna be snacking on in the next 10 minutes or whatever. And what I consider the biggest bonus to be is that they're not gonna take a million hours to cook because it's literally the middle of the day. And I mean, you could prep anything that I make ahead of time, but that's just not my jam most days.
For most days, I'm not interested in cooking something complicated smack dab in the middle of the day. So I'm going to come up with a bowl situation. Okay, this one here is a Chinese chicken salad. Very easy to throw together. Okay, you just compile all of the ingredients like a little salad. You have your chicken that's already cooked. Put your little saucy sauce on there. And boom, that's done. That's like less than 5 minutes right there. And it is so filling. I know I'm always ranting and raving about this Japanese barbecue sauce. I literally probably have it every day. But you can always make your own little dressing. It's a soy sauce based dressing. So some soy sauce, some hoisin if you have those on hand. And it's easier to whip one up. You can definitely do that. It's also an opportunity to make it low sodium, 0 sugar, because you can put a sugar substitute in. You know, whatever is floating your boat at that particular moment. That's how I did it. It's so easy. I taught my child how to do it. She makes this like every other day, as long as I got some chicken already made. So, pro tip, keep you some chicken already made in the refrigerator, okay? Now, this next one is not so much a lunch as it is what I like to do in the middle of the day. It's like a little pick-me-up. So I'm going to make some very unconventional ginger shots. So I have these frozen ginger cubes that are taking forever to come out this container. I'm going to pop 2 of them in a cup. I like that nice spicy kick, so I'm going to do 2. You don't have to do that. And I have like a little bit more than a half of a lemon that I'm going to squeeze on top of it. I cannot raw dog these like that, so I'm going to add a little bit of water to kind of melt the ginger cube a little bit, make it easier to go down, and bam, you have a ginger shot, okay? Now, if you caught my last video, you saw me go get a chicken Caesar wrap, and my sister and I thought they were both, you know, a little mid, so she mentions that she likes my wrap better. This is the wrap that is in question here. Okay, so I could just use regular dressing, and that I will be doing. Okay, so stick with me. I'm going to beef up my dressing by way of seasoning some Greek yogurt. And this is where my culinary tips come in. So you want to make sure you dress the bowl, don't dress the salad. So I'm going to be like stirring up the bowl and everything as I'm seasoning it. And I did want a little hint of spice, so I'm also going to go in with some chili crisp, just a little bit, so it has a little zing. This same thing can be achieved if you're going to have chicken that is crispy and spicy. I will not, so I would have omitted this if I was going to have like a Cajun chicken or something like that. Again, this is just to add a little bit more protein into the dressing. If you find a protein dressing and you like this my jam, you have at it. I don't have that. I'd rather just make it like this anyway, so that I have control over how it tastes, because a lot of those items that are like protein this and low carb that, they taste disgusting. I can get down with the taste of some Greek yogurt, you know. And these dressings, I think it's Brianna's, these are my favorite. So it allows me to still have what I like and just make it a little bit healthier. So I'm going to stretch it with the Greek yogurt and still kind of maintain that flavor profile that I already like. So you see how little that I added and how much is in this bowl, all because of the Greek yogurt. So you just start adding in your veggies. I have the carrots because I tried to get rid of the carrots in my refrigerator. I don't think those are usually in Caesar wraps, but I had them. So I'm going to add my carrots, and I'm also going in with cabbage because I don't have any other lettuce. So again, I always preach to y'all, do you, boo? Like, this your kitchen, this what you gonna be eating. If you only got one thing or you only like something else, put that in your food, okay? It's still gonna give you the desired effect. And also, don't cut with weak knives because, oh my goodness, I really need to sharpen my knives, y'all. Oh, and since I'm not using crispy chicken, I'm going in with a couple croutons. I really like croutons, so can't rock with them low carb ones. Sorry, just gonna use less. I'm actually using the same chicken that I used in the first recipe. That's why I say, make a big batch sometimes. You just boil it with some aromatics and a little seasoning, and you got chicken that'll just last you, babe. And I'm going pretty hefty with the chicken here because since everything in here is pretty low calorie, I can really up the protein factor with the chicken and still have a pretty low carb meal. So I did probably like maybe equal amounts cabbage and chicken. If you are using a different type of lettuce or you just don't want that much chicken, again, it's your world. Put as much as you want. So that's how much I put in, and you're gonna have to make sure you season for taste, okay? Please promise me you'll do that. And don't feel guilty if you have to add a little bit more dressing. Like, you still get to enjoy things. You don't have to add more Greek yogurt if it's feeling a little dry. Add the good part. Oh, and I am gonna save a few more calories because I'm gonna add these on top of some low carb tortillas. The HEB ones are pretty good. Like, they give just regular tortilla vibes. They may even be catfishing me and I'm just falling for it, but that's my business. But yeah, so I'm gonna serve this alongside some fruit, and I always see this I love chamoy stuff, and I saw the HEB, so I decided to try this out. It's sugar free. Have I had chamoy before? Yes, I think so. But it really tasted good with those plums. It was a nice spicy sweet contrast to go along with the Caesar salad. So I do rate this a 10 out of 10. Now, this recipe here you have seen me make before, and you will see me make it again, okay? I would consider this to be a lunch for myself if I'm in the mood, if I feel like cooking, but you could absolutely make this ahead of time, the night before, the morning before, whatever floats your boat. So we kind of start off like pho with our aromatics that have been charred, and I'm adding a lot of ginger today because something was kind of like my refrigerator must have like froze it. So I was like, I'm just gonna dump all of this in here. So I have this pho base, and I'm just gonna go ahead and dump some of the pho base in there, even though this is technically not pho. It's the same cuisine, it's just not pho. I really rock with these brothy soups that we have been introduced to in the last couple of years because you're literally just drinking chicken stock. It's like, people will tell you like, oh, wake up in the morning, have you a cup of bone broth or something. And they're like, yeah, put some cocoa powder in there to make it feel like you're drinking coffee so you get some energy. That is ridiculous. Why do that when you can do this? Honestly, this makes 1,000% more sense. Eat your chicken broth like a soup. I don't think any chicken is meant to be a tea or a coffee or freaking hot cocoa. That's just weird. But yeah, you can reference my original video for my mean guy recipe. I'm so sorry if I have butchered how you say that. But yes, I've made this before, and it's very easy to throw together. What makes it easier for me is that I do have a pressure cooker, so this comes together in about 15 minutes in my pressure cooker. It'll probably take like 30 minutes on the stove because you're really just kind of boiling the chicken until it's like a shreddy texture. So if you have ever like boiled chicken to cook it, it's the same thing, but you just have aromatics in the water, and you're gonna use the chicken that the broth that you boil it in. You're gonna use that as a part of your soup. And I did get asked again, what are the silver packets I add? They're ramen packets. because I use ramen and I don't use the packets when I use the ramen noodles. So I have thousands of freaking ramen packets everywhere. So yeah, just let this cook down and then we're gonna assemble our bowl once the broth is done. This is another one of those that you can assemble your bowl however you would like. Unfortunately, I don't know another use for the aromatics once they've been cooked, so they will be discarded. I'm sorry if somebody considers that wasteful. That's not my intention. It's just giving all it can give, and I don't compost. But also, this broth was supposed to be very gingery with all that ginger I added, and it wasn't. So I am gonna go in with some of this ginger tea mix because it's like ginger, sugar, some other stuff like that that's already in here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more because I like my broths to be very ginger forward and slightly sweet. No, this is not traditional that I know of, but what I like to do is add my fiber into here too, because I have so much broth that I'll just drink all the liquid. I'm like, no, let's add some veggies in here. I like to add dumplings to mine, and if I don't have any noodles or I'm just feeling particularly tired, I will just add dumplings and chicken and make this a dumpling soup instead. It is your world, baby. Add whatever you like. I'm gonna go in with some furikake. I'm also gonna go in with some more chili crisp because I like furikake and chili crisp. This one is like one of those like seaweed furikake, so it goes really well with the broth. And I just love me some chili crisp. This Lago Ma, y'all was right with this one. This is so much better than Trader Joe's one. But make sure you eat this one nice and steaming hot so it tastes like a hug.
So the moral of the story is lunch don't have to be sad, it don't have to be skimpy, it don't have to be so tiny and so skinny. We picking easy things. We throwing proteins in there. Maybe a little saucy sauce for some flavor. And you got it. So let me know what's tea. Are you a hot lunch girly? Or are you a cold lunch baddie? I feel like people have really strong opinions on this. Like, I'm just curious to know what you think. I don't even know what season these are in, but oh my god, this is absolutely delicious.